Hi guys, it's me again, and today I will be talking a little bit about how I reacted and how my family reacted when I got my diagnosis. I have gotten a lot of diagnoses in my life, but the big ones are ADHD and autism, and I got both of them when I was an adult, but I also got them a few years apart. And I got this comment that was, I think it'd be interesting to hear how your siblings reacted to your diagnosis. So please send me questions like this that I can make videos about, or just answer you in the comments. I am very interested in talking about what I have been going through, and maybe you can recognize yourself in my story or something like that. So I have to tell you shortly before I talk about the diagnosis that I have been suffering through deep depressions, high anxiety, and stuff like that my entire life since I was a kid, as long as I remember actually. And after school, I have been a lot on sick leave. A lot of years I haven't been able to work because I have been such deep depressions. I haven't been sleeping anything. I've had a pretty hard life. A lot of medication, a lot of antidepressants, anxiety meds and stuff that didn't work really for me. And it was hard. And when I was about 28 years old, I finally got signed up to do an evaluation to try to understand why I didn't get any better, why I still had the depressions and why I still had the anxiety, even though I did all the things I could do to not have them. I still had them and they never disappeared. They could be a little bit better, but they were very often very bad. So yeah, if I remember correctly, I was about 28 years old when they did the ADHD evaluation on me. And as we did it, I thought I would get relieved if I found out what was bothering me, why I didn't get any better, why life was so hard for me when it seemed so simple for everybody else. And I did the evaluation and it came back, and I got to know that I had ADHD, ADD, and phobic personality disorder. So I have a combination of ADHD and ADD, both of them. And as I said, I thought I would be relieved, but it turned out that I wasn't relieved. I actually felt quite sad about it. It was a grief process, and it was like, okay, it's final. This is who I am. I was born like this. I will never get any better. It was actually very hard for me to get it, just because it felt so final. And I thought that I would never feel better. And that was a scary thought. So that was how I reacted initially on the ADHD and the ADD. And I actually found my own old journal, where I actually wrote a little bit about me finding out, but also how my siblings and family reacted. And I'm going to read a little bit from it. It's in Swedish, so I'm going to try to just translate it for you very quickly. Here is a few words I wrote before I got the answer. And I wrote, do I have any diagnosis? If I have it, it feels bad because it's so final in a way. But if I don't have it, it feels like it's almost worse, because that means that nobody knows what is wrong with me. But something is it? Why am I never getting better? I get so scared when I feel the sense of hopelessness. I mean, if there's a psychological or physical diagnosis, I know what it is, but if I don't have it, so it just feels like nobody will ever be able to help me. So that is a little bit how I was feeling before getting the diagnosis, and this is what I wrote after getting it. ADHD. I do have ADHD and ADD. Pretty strongly proven that I have it. And I got to know that they found the diagnosis on me before we went through the results, and I understood right away that it was ADD or ADHD or both that it was about. And when she told me what it was, I took it pretty good. But when I talked about it with my mother, it felt hard. And now it feels hard. It is like I cannot really understand it. It feels unreal and weird. And I don't think it should, really. I have somewhere hoped that would be the case, but now it just feels so final. I will have this for the rest of my life. That was what I wrote about myself, but then I actually also wrote about me telling all my siblings. I really wanted to talk to them one-on-one to process it for myself in a way. If I just told them over and over and over, it might have felt better, because I have 5 siblings and 1 set of parents. So for that reason, I thought that if I told them one-on-one, it would feel better after a while. And I actually wrote about each of their reactions in here. So it was pretty fun that I got that question, so I could go back and look. And this is what I wrote. Everyone was so nice when they got the news. They were so nice. But I also think my brothers was a little shocked, because they didn't really know that I did an evaluation. But everyone said, but you're still you. There's no difference because you have a diagnosis. My dad was incredibly happy and relieved. He has probably been more worried about me than I knew. To him, I think it was an explanation to him. And he told me when I went to bed, now we will start at 0. My mom is always supportive, but I think she has a hard time understanding that it feels a little bit hard for me, and it's not just super positive. My older sister also sounded a little bit shocked, but she was, as always, very supportive and calming. I'm still me, but she wasn't really prepared for me getting the diagnosis. One of my brothers talked to me on a level that we have never talked before. We normally don't go into feelings and deep talk, but it was actually nice to talk to him about it. And he asked me questions, and I told him a little bit about what I've been going through. My little sister Erica, was super happy and gave me a high five. I'm still laughing about it, because it was very hard for me right then and there, and a lot of feelings in the room. So it was nice with kind of a bomb of humor and joy in the middle of everything. My third sister was like, well, that's great. Now you know what's wrong. As always, pretty fast, and is like it was the most normal thing in the world. He also, of course, asked me some questions. My oldest brother, I think, was a little bit shocked and didn't really know how to react. But we talked a little bit the way that we usually talk, with humor and stuff. But then I got a long hug, and it was so, I got emotional. It was so nice. It was the first person who actually gave me that kind of hug after getting the results. And I really needed it. And then he got a little bit mad at himself, because he hadn't thought about it, and he is a teacher and he reads a lot about ADHD in his studies. So he thought that, why didn't I know that before? But I don't blame him. So yeah, that was a little bit how my family reacted in it all. They were very nice as always, and it was good for them, I feel like, that they got an answer on why I was feeling the way, because they are worried about me. They have always been worried about me for feeling so bad. And it was a process for me to understand that that's what I had. And after a while, I accepted it and I moved on. And I tried medicine. No medicine worked for me, but that's a totally different story, because that was one of the worst years of my life when I was trying that medicine and stuff like that. So we might go into that in another video if you're interested. The thing is, I went to something in the psych psychiatrist's office that was like ADHD school to learn a little bit about ADHD. And I somehow in that setting felt even more defeated, because I felt like all these good things you should have with ADHD, I don't feel I have that. I felt like all the spontaneous things and all the other things that are so ADHD key, I felt like I don't have that. So I just felt more lost and nothing got better. The medicine didn't work and I felt just more bad. And because the medicine didn't work, they told me that they wanted to do another evaluation on me. And then when I did that, I was 30, about to turn 31. And that was an evaluation for autism, which I did have. And getting that diagnosis, that made me relieved. That made me relieved. It made me happy. I felt like a huge, oh no, I get emotional again, rock had just been tossed away from my chest, because that was me. I felt it. I felt it while doing the evaluation that I am on the right track. I do have autism. I know I do. So that fear of not getting the diagnosis was so big, because I felt like this. I know this is me. I know this is me. I finally understood why I have been mirroring people all my life. I finally understood why it has been so hard for me, why I have had all my eating disorders and other things like that, because I know a lot of autistic female people get that. I understood why I had such deep depressions, why I'm so exhausted while being in public, being around people, and why the ADHD medicine did not work. It is not uncommon that if you do have autism and ADHD, it doesn't always work. So for me, I got all the answers, and after getting that diagnosis, my life shifted. I shifted towards myself. I accepted myself more. I respected myself more. I understood myself more. I could then understand that if I go to a party, I will have massive anxiety, and that's how it will be. I will be more tired afterwards, because that's how it will be. But I won't continue to run to become like my friends. I won't be continuing to run to love alcohol, to love drunk people, to love being drunk. I hate alcohol. I don't drink. I don't like drunk people, but I can nowadays, when I feel better in myself, be in a setting where people are drunk, if I know them. But that's another story again. It's just that I understood myself and I respected myself, and I could finally talk to people like, I want to come. It will be pretty hard for me, and this is what I need. I need clarity. I need to understand what will happen. I need to understand what people will be there. So I found tools just by knowing what I was going through. I found my tools. So that made me happy and relieved. And as soon as I knew that it was Asperger's that I had, I call it Asperger's, it's autism, but I called it Asperger's when I got it. I told my family, I want all of you to come to my mom, and I want to just treat you with some ice cream. I have some news to share. So we all came there, all my siblings, my parents, and I don't know if they thought I would tell them that I was pregnant or something, because it was just that setting. But then I just told them, I finally know who I am, and have finally gotten the right diagnosis, and I do have autism. And all of them got so happy for me. And I told them, do you have any questions? You can ask me them. You can ask me the questions. You can talk to my doctor if you would like to. He can explain a little bit what I'm going through, or you can read my evaluation. And everybody wanted to read the evaluation, so that felt good. And my brother also told me, I haven't seen you that happy in like forever. So they were so happy for me, and I was so happy for me. And since that moment, I have started to learn how to love myself. I started to live a little bit more. I started to get to know myself much better. And it was a cool experience. I also wrote a long poem when I just found out that I could post here on my channel. Let me know if you want me to post it here. I can read it for you in another post in that case. So I do have a lot of diagnoses that I'm not even touching here, like phobic personality disorder and my anxiety disorder and those things, but it's just my ADHD and my Asperger's autism that is the biggest ones. And there's no doubt about that I also have ADHD. So it's not like it was the wrong diagnosis, but it wasn't the full story. So that's why I didn't feel at home in that. Because now I know I have ADHD. I have my super mega ADHD days that is like, my ADHD is rising, but I can't medicate it. And that's actually sometimes very hard. And we can talk about medication in another post if you would like me to. But I wanted to just tell you about how I reacted and my family reacted. But it's hard to not be able to medicate it sometimes. I must say that. But I'm proud of who I am today. Have you gotten a diagnosis late in life? Let me know what diagnosis it was. How did it feel? Did you accept it right away, or did you grow into accepting it, or did you grieve? I mean, I was grieving a little bit. Not when I got the autism diagnosis, but when I got the ADHD, because I felt like, gosh, if I only knew, like, maybe my life would have seemed so much different. But I also felt like when I got my autism diagnosis, because my mother actually had her thoughts about autism when I was younger, and then she had it again when I was a little bit older. But I would never have accepted that diagnosis if I hadn't gone through all the things I had been going through when I got the diagnosis. I was prepared. I was there. I was mentally prepared for that. Was what I had. I was fine with it. So in my life, I feel like it was the right moment for me to find out. It might have been easier if I found out when I was younger, but they didn't have knowledge about girls and autism at that point, so I don't even know if it would make any difference. So I think it was good I did it when I did it, because they had so little research. I would probably not have gotten the diagnosis if I did the evaluation younger than I did. So I'm not regretting anything. I've become a strong woman, a very strong, very mentally strong, from going through all the things I've been going through. So I'm proud of myself. I am happy that I have autism, just because I know more about it now. I think I can be very strong. I know I'm kind-hearted. I struggle a lot daily, but I am who I am, and I am who I was supposed to be. This is me, as the song goes. So if you're struggling, just know you are perfect the way you are. I know it's hard to struggle. I know it's hard to struggle. Like, I know it. And I do it constantly. Not constantly, but very, very often. But I also know we can get through it. And I know we can learn to accept ourselves and respect ourselves and love ourselves for who we are. And as the more we know about ourselves, the more we can be frank or thorough, I don't know the word, to other people. Like, I would love to come to this party, but I would like to know who will be there. Or I would like to go to this party, but I would like to know a little bit about the schedule. Like, when do we eat? When do we do what? It's okay to tell people what you need to feel good. So that's what I learned. I have started to feel much better since I have becoming aware of what I need and dare to tell other people what I need. Thank you for the question. It was very fun to talk to you guys about this. Also, give me more questions, what you would like me to bring up in any video, and I might do that or answer you in the comments. I think it's important to have a dialogue and a conversation and tell people about what I've been going through. I guess that's it. I should go to bed. I actually went to bed, and then I felt like I want to do that video now. So that's what I did. It looks bright outside because it's bright in Sweden where I live 24/7 now, so it's never dark. But I'm gonna go to bed because I have work in the morning. I love you. Thank you for being with me. I am proud of you wherever you're in life, and I will see you when I see you. Bye.